Check, check, hello. Hello. I appear to be now streaming live. My very first baking stream ever. I've had requests to do a baking stream for a while, I feel like. And now we're here. So, let's see. Hi, Sinister Cinema. Look at all those cookies. Paco, hi, hola. Thank you so much for resubscribing. Hi, John Gerard. Yes, this is this is brand new. So yeah. Hi, Batman Tink. Hey, yeah, I haven't seen you since before I left for Phoenix. So great to see you here. Yeah, we're doing things a little differently today. I've got an apron on, obviously. It's a sriracha apron, even though sriracha is a little too spicy for me. I'm just rolling with it. Yes, galletas today, Paco. Um, so I'm really excited that you're here. I don't. I'm not used to like having my hair up like this for a stream, especially. But that's what needs to be done when you're cooking. You know, it just like you can't be cooking with hairs flying and falling everywhere. Hi Brandon. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if it's fun. We'll see what you think. We'll see if it gets really boring when the cookies are baking. If I can keep you entertained or not. I actually did not make a good plan for what happens during that time. Hola Dialato and Sam and Catamorphic. Hi. Um, well, I feel like hi No Control. Yes, thank you. This is my this is the debut of my really fat, puffy Madonna mic. I'm glad you like it. Hi Freezy Ba and Chronicler and Hannibal. Hello. Wow, I'm so excited that you are all here and you're very prompt. I'm kind of irritated by the way this is crooked, but I don't know if there's much to be done about that. So I'm just going to leave it for now. So check this out. This is our bowl view right here. Whenever we get started with a bowl. Which brings me to the first order of business, which is what cookies do you think we should make today? I have two cookies. I have ingredients for various cookies, but I couldn't decide between two different cookies. Hi, Dan. Might not be able to watch much. Here to throw some cookies around. Thank you. Thank you for subscribing with Prime for 4 months. Awesome. Thanks so much, Dan. So I'm going to set up a poll. We have two cookie options, and I'll tell you what they are, and I'll tell you why I couldn't decide. The first cookie is a chocolate chip cookie. It's my favorite chocolate chip cookie recipe. It's super good. And when brainstorming a baking stream, I had always thought I should start with chocolate chip cookies because that's what we're always throwing. You know, that's basically our mascot is a chocolate chip cookie. So so there's that. I have that option, and I have made those before. Hi, Dillinger Nick. Thanks for the cookies. So yeah, I'm familiar with that recipe. I haven't made them for a few years, but I have made them multiple times before, and I know that they're great. Hi, Wimp Dork. Thank you. Hi, Miko. Love the bright red mixer. Thanks. Okay, so the other option Dillinger Nick is saying, let's do it. I haven't presented you with the second cookie option, which I'm only going to make one. I know it'd be great to like make them both, but for a first baking stream, we'll start with one type of cookie. The other one is one that I've never made before, which is a gingerbread cookie that's, you know, seasonal. With a, let me show you a picture. It looks like this. Iced gingerbread cookies. Let's see if you can get a good, there we go, on this side. So they've got like a, I would need to roll them and cut them out and sort of do this decoration on them. And the thing about this one is that I've never made it before. Marco, thank you so much for that tip. I wish that there was some, I wish I could like prioritize a request. Is something happening with the audio? Doug is here kind of helping out. What's happening? Is it messing up a lot? Audio is a bit wacky. Though the mic is freaking out, getting robot feedback. Good now. Okay. It was probably some cellular, some cell phone distortion, I think. Is that right, Doug? Yeah? Okay. There was a phone too close to, this is wireless, you guys. This is what you helped me get, was this microphone. And I thought that it sucked too bad. And that's one reason why I haven't done a baking stream until now, is that I tested out, there's a clip-on one that came with it, and it was horrible. It was like, it wasn't picking up my voice at all. It just picked up everything. So it was really bad. And then I finally tried this one out because I just thought it would be the same. I don't know. And also I don't know. It's so like puffy and huge. I didn't think it was gonna be that great. But it's working out. But yeah, let me know if there's more, if there's anything else, any other issues. Hi Hulk Hokey. Yes, this microphone does give me freedom. It would be fun to have a really high quality one that I could actually use like Madonna when I'm singing, but I think that's like $1,000 or something. Or more, maybe even, because the whole wireless thing. Oh, I just realized Paco, so Paco tipped $20 and that got us to our goal. You can't see the word goal really right here. Oh, and I didn't update the this thing, the command. I didn't think about that till just now. But basically today's goal that Paco just achieved in one go is that if there's anyone who wants some of these cookies, I'm going to give away one package of them. I'm going to ship some to one person in the US, if we would like. When they're all, I mean, assuming they don't get burnt to a crisp or some other like, something that renders them inedible happens between now and then, between now and the end of the stream, we will do a drawing, much like we did on my birthday, and somebody within the US will get some cookies that I am making live on stream, which I think could be fun if that interests you. All right, so I'm going to put up a poll. The gingerbread cookies are obviously, timely. They would fit the holiday. If there's anybody who out there who wants to, I mean, I doubt you're going to bake along with me, but if you're like, oh, I would like to make those later and watch the YouTube or something, that's a thing. Or if you just think I should be festive and I should do the gingerbread ones. Or if you're in the US and you're wanting to potentially receive a box of cookies and you prefer, you can vote based on that. But there's also chocolate chip. And the chocolate chip, there's a chance they might ship better. there's all these considerations. This is why I decided I couldn't decide, and I would leave it up to you because I'm gonna enjoy myself baking cookies, whichever ones they are. So let's see. Let's do a new poll. We're gonna say, which cookies should I make today? Chocolate chip or iced gingerbread? Also, I didn't realize until just now reading my recipe that for the iced gingerbread, I will have to roll. I don't even know if I have a good, I don't know what cookie cutter I would use, but I would have to roll them and cut them out. So that's a thing. I'm gonna give it 2 minutes since since a bunch of you are here and actively in chat. We're gonna go ahead and start this poll. So at the top of the chat here, you can expand. Miko said, "Are you a fan of snickerdoodles?" I do love snickerdoodles. I feel like if I continue to do this baking stream, that we will definitely make our way through a bunch of different cookies. Snickerdoodles is a great one to ship, so that one I think I would do for sure. Chronicler said, "I'm torn. Gingerbread is usually my favorite, but I feel like chocolate chip is a great first one to do." Yeah, that's kind of how I feel too. It's just a really tough decision. Dan said, based on your apron, I think the secret ingredient should be sriracha. If you want them to be gross, then I can put sriracha all over them before I pack them up. I can't see what the... Oh, okay, we're going so far, at least as far as I can see. Looks like we're trending towards chocolate chip, which is totally fine with me. I do want to share this recipe with you because it's really good, and it's not I don't know. Ooh, it's about to end soon. So yeah, I feel like I shouldn't say, should I say where the recipe's from? I don't even know. I feel like there's a weird, like sharing recipes that are published is just such a weird gray area, I think. Because of course you want to give credit. Well, I am going to alter the recipe a little bit. So we can say that this recipe is, Dillinger Nick said, meh, who cares? All right, so we're doing chocolate chip. Thank you so much for making that decision. I really appreciate that. So this recipe is, I'm going to alter it a bit, just a tiny bit, which I think is all that I need to do really to make it okay. It's from Cooks Illustrated. So it's a little different. I don't know if you're familiar with Cooks Illustrated. Hi, Cosmic Brujo. Cosmic Brujo. Hello. Cosmic Brujo said, I was part of your original cookie club back in 2011 or 12. Those cookies were so good. Thank you. That's awesome. Yeah, I had a short-lived mail order baking project, let's say, because it was pretty short-lived. It was really fun, but it was not very, the logistics were not great. Miko said, my recipe's from the back of the bag of chocolate chips. LOL. I mean, fresh chocolate chip cookies are always good, but I feel like Cooks Illustrated is a publication that takes recipes and spends a ton of time perfecting them. So it's like, well, I want the cookie to be perfectly crispy on the edges but chewy in the middle, and not too flat but not too puffy, and not cakey but not, hard or whatever. Like, just like they make like hundreds of batches of cookies for the one recipe, just like tweaking little things here and there. And so all of their recipes pretty much are like not, well, I mean, in a way, some of them are really annoying because you're like, yeah, I don't really want to rest this dough for like 36 hours, or, just sometimes they take an easy recipe and it turns into like kind of a nightmarish ordeal. But they often have recipes that it's worth it, like the little extra things that they do here and there, like maybe putting something in the fridge for 20 minutes before you do something, or like they're really great. So this to me is the best chocolate chip cookie recipe that I've ever made. So let's do it. I'm excited. I put out all of the stuff I'm gonna need. So for this one, you don't need a mixer, which is kind of nice. I feel like you don't have to have special equipment to make it. And you know what else I didn't do? I just realized is I should have like printed out not printed out. I should have made you a little pop-up that says the recipe. I didn't do that. I'm just going to have to read it to you as we go, which is what I do anyway. So, got my recipe here. I need it nearby. Actually, let's see. Yeah, I'll put it there. So the first thing we do for these cookies, which is, oh, hi, Dr. Brontax. Welcome. We just decided that we're going to make chocolate chip cookies. And they're perfect for throwing, right? And spinning through the air. So the first thing about this recipe that's different is that you melt the butter. Oftentimes with cookies, the first thing they have you do is take softened, like room temperature butter, and get your mixer and cream it, like mix it up with the sugar to make a fluffy whip of butter and sugar together, and that's kind of your base of your cookie. With this one, we're going to melt the butter, which is kind of fun, and that's what makes it so you don't really need a mixer. What's happening? Is there something with the audio? Is it more digital? Robot mode is on. Huh. Well, let's see. The Wi-Fi is off. Does it sound like it's Wi-Fi affecting it, or like something digital? Robot mode off. Okay. Maybe my phone is too close. Will you take that away? Thank you. You can just put it anywhere. I don't need it. Sounds like cell interference. Yeah. Maybe. Okay. Well, seems like it went away. So I can't see anything else in this vicinity. Of course, I've never streamed from the kitchen before. So who knows? Could be maybe the neighbor's Wi-Fi is like right on the other side of the fence. Or something. I don't know. Martha Stewart doesn't have to deal with this. That is true. Maybe I'll get there eventually. I doubt it. Miko said maybe an alien farted on the satellite. Possible. Very possible. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do, though, is wash my hands. I did not get the skillet out yet, so I'm just going to... But check it out. I have this microphone. I can talk to you even when I'm off camera. Even when I'm over here washing my hands, I can talk to you. Can you hear is the water really loud? Washing my hands, 'cause that's important when you're baking or cooking. And now I'm singing. Oh, here's my towel. This is so fun. I mean, I'm already having a lot of fun just doing something a little different. Okay, so we need a skillet. Not only are we gonna melt the butter, we're gonna brown it too, which is what makes it taste extra, extra good. So I'm gonna get a pan out of the cupboard. Here we have it. We actually don't need this, so I'm gonna move this back to where it goes, off camera. We need 14 tablespoons of unsalted butter. 1 stick is 8 tablespoons, so it's gonna be 1 3/4 sticks. But in the instructions, you only brown 10 tablespoons of butter. So I'm gonna need 4 more tablespoons here. I can't hear the, could be, oh wait, could be the fridge motor? You think the fridge motor compressor could give digital interference? Maybe if our fridge was like the kind that goes online. Dillinger Nick said, can't hear the water, can only hear lathering. Unlimited talking possibilities, I know. I agree, Miko, baking in the winter just feels warm and cozy. And no control, you are correct. Can never go wrong with brown butter. Agreed. Okay. So this is only 1 stick. I had gotten out to become room temperature just in case we did the gingerbread cookie. Guess what? We have exactly 3/4 of a stick of butter right here. And that's it for the butter. Okay, so that said, yes, so 10 tablespoons are going to go into the skillet and reserving 4 tablespoons for after the butter's melted. So I'm going to get my knife out and keep keep 4 tablespoons for later. So I mentioned earlier that, I mean, in case anybody missed me saying this during other streams, it would be amazing to ship outside the US as well, but I don't think it's a good idea because the cookies would be stale. They could sit, I mean, even shipping cookies in the US at this time, you know, during the holidays, they might sit a little longer than I would like them to. But definitely I don't want to ship international for like a bunch of money and then have them arrive to you stale and dried out and gross. Miko said, I'm sure I would burn the butter. You wouldn't. Dr. Brontek said, I remember when we used to have landlines and a cordless phone would get interference from the neighbors. I know, Sad Bunny, this is the mixing bowl cam. We're going to use it in a little bit. Okay. One thing about the way that I am as a baker is that I will check my recipe 1,000,000 times just to make sure that I'm doing the right thing. Also, highly advise reading the whole recipe first, which I should do right now, actually, because since I've made this one before, I didn't read through it, but I'm going to right now just quickly. I'll read it to you. How about that? We're skipping to step 2 because step 1 is to preheat the oven. which I never do that first because it'll be ready in like 10 minutes. And then it'll just be, if it was really cold in here today, then yeah, maybe I would do that just to help heat up the house. But unless it's really cold, I don't turn the oven on until I'm actually like scooping the cookie dough onto the sheets. Chronicler said, "Will you sign the cookies?" Actually, I guess you could if there was icing. I could. We could do that another time. That would be funny. Um, so yeah, it also says to line the baking sheets with parchment. We'll do that later. It also says to whisk the flour and baking soda together, which I might not do depending on what the rest of the instructions are. We're on step 2. Heat 10 tablespoons of butter in a 10-inch skillet over medium-high heat until melted, about 2 minutes. Continue cooking. Swirling pan constantly until butter is dark golden brown, has nutty aroma, 1 to 3 minutes. I know how to brown butter, but I will tell you as I do it. Remove skillet from heat using heat-proof spatulas. Transfer brown butter to large heat-proof bowl. Stir remaining 4 tablespoons butter into hot butter until completely melted. Add sugar, salt, vanilla to bowl. Whisk until fully incorporated. Add egg and yolk and whisk until mixture is smooth with no sugar lumps. About 30 seconds. Blah, 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 blah. Let mixture stand. Da, 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 da. We're going to do it all using spatula. Stir in flour mixture until just combined. Yeah, I'm not gonna whisk. I hate making an extra bowl dirty. If I don't need to, I will skip a step like that. Because I don't think there's gonna be crazy clumps. It's telling us to whisk the flour and baking soda together, which I know is to ensure there aren't big clumps, but I think it's gonna be fine. Then stir in the chocolate chips. And stir, blah, blah, blah. Divide cookies, 16 portions. This is going to make 16 cookies. They're pretty big. They're each 3 tablespoons. Okay. And then we bake them. So yeah, I'm going to start heating this then. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and... No, I'll do it how it says. Miko said, I make a mean weed brownie. Can you make it to where you can't taste it at all? Actually, I have never made any sort of weed product, and I don't really have plans to, but I would imagine that you would taste it. I guess it probably depends on how strong you make it, right? Okay, so we're going to heat this butter over medium-high. So I'm going to turn it to medium-high. It says to swirl it, but I like to stir it because it will start burning a little bit, and you can still brown it that way. Omiko said, I make it into a butter so you can't taste it as much. That's a good idea. Dillinger Nick said, I have the same oven / range. Is it a gas oven? Well, obviously the range is. That means the stove part probably is too, right? I mean the oven part. This, when it's baking, it's like hot air is just like shooting out of it. So it's really hard to bake in the summer here. Our butter is melting. I wish that we had a stove cam, but we don't. At least we have this Madonna mic, so I can still talk to you. The butter is going to... When you're browning butter, really all you have to do is just keep an eye on it. And a lot of times recipes say like make sure, you know, just when it just starts turning golden brown or just when you're starting to, it smells like nutty or something. And it's like that's that's really not necessary. As long as it's not burning, which is really easy. It's easy to see it. As long as it's not like blackening, the darker it is, the more flavorful it is. I just saw something pop up, so I want to say thank you, Spokanes, for the follow and welcome. Oh no, robot mode on and off? I don't know what it is. It could just be that I purchased a Madonna mic that's not very good. I know that, I mean, when we were testing it, it was definitely doing it was giving off some annoying, not super loud, but some annoying, like, high-pitched sort of humming. So that we might just have to endure until, you know, if we decide that this is really fun, then I might have to save up to get a better microphone. The butter will start to like get foamy. So it's fully melted and now it's got a foam on top of it. And you can kind of tell you're doing something right when it makes a foam and then the foam will go away. I wonder if the robot sound gets worse when I'm further from the receiver. That could be as well. So it's still foaming. Now it's really boiling. And the way I like to brown butter, I just like to just stir it until it seems done. It'll foam up and start changing color. It might start like getting some crispy bits on the bottom, which is not bad. You just don't want it to turn into completely crispy bits. You know what? I didn't look at the recipe to see. Hopefully I'm not supposed to cut up this remaining butter into pieces. There's something about this melted butter using the non-melted butter to add back. I'm going to turn this down a little bit because I can see the toasty bits forming. And it actually will start, it'll foam again. It'll foam twice if you let it go long enough. So this is what I do for the salted brown butter Rice Krispie treats. Yeah, we're getting some brown, some nice toasty brown chunks. I think it's time to turn that off. And here I come. And actually, I'm going to pour it, but I forgot I should probably get a spatula. See, look at how that is. It's like got these brown bits in it. Oh, you think it was the notification, Paco? That did it? Why does technology hate you? I mean, I think it really could have something to do with me being frugal with my choices of purchases. You know, I don't know how the baking stream, how we're gonna like it, so I get a mediocre microphone and then I figure I'll upgrade it if we love it. Okay, so let me read real quick here. The butter, it just says stir remaining 4 tablespoons butter into hot butter until completely melted. So actually, yeah, I'm gonna cut it a little bit here. just so it doesn't totally cool the whole thing off too much. I'm gonna wash my hands again. Hi, Scottish Niners. Welcome to my first ever baking stream. I usually am singing and playing music for people and playing requests and sometimes learning some stuff. Okay, so you just have to stir this until this butter is melted. Batman Tink said that she thinks it's also the pop-up that makes it go robot mode. That kinda sucks. Never try brown butter on spaghetti. Oh man, I bet that's super good. No control, good suggestion. Miko said, don't blame yourself, blame Big Tech. Dialato's writing down each ingredient. Hi, Boy V Robot. Oh, Dr. Brontax, thank you. Oh, you're trying to see if it does robot mode when there's a pop-up? Thanks for the bits. Yes, Boy V Robot, we are making chocolate chip cookies today. Did it go robot mode? Doug says no. Didn't do robot voice. Hi, Rabbit City. Yes, I have been talking about doing this for a long time, Boy V Robot. We're finally doing it. I had to wait until it was cool enough here because it just does not make sense to bake cookies in San Antonio in summer, at least not in this house. Nothing's efficient enough to keep it cool. Okay, that butter is melted. I'm realizing now that this bowl does not need to be this big. But whatever. I don't think we need this anymore. I'm going to set it back here. We're going to get a whisk. And a little plate for me to put it on, so as to not make a huge mess on the counter. Okay, next up, both sugars, salt, and vanilla. So we've got granulated sugar and dark brown sugar in this recipe. We're going to do a half cup of granulated and 3/4 cups of brown. I forgot to get out my measuring cups. They're shaped like nesting dolls. They're not super convenient, but I'm super used to them now. Let's see. So a half cup of granulated, 3/4 of brown. We'll start with this granulated sugar here. I keep my flours and sugars in other like airtight containers, so I can just have them on hand and they're fresh. There's our granulated sugar. And 3/4 cup of brown. I don't know if I might have to refill this one because the brown sugar was getting a little low. But we'll find out. Brown sugar, I feel like, is always the messiest part of baking. Oh, thanks, Boyvie Robot. And Miko. Yeah, these measuring cups are... Sometimes it's annoying that they don't have a handle. But aside from that, I do love them. With brown sugar, it gets all over the place very easily for no apparent reason. It's like sand. We need to pack it. Usually a recipe wants you to pack the brown sugar because of the way that it sits. It can pile up and seem like it's the right amount, but it's not. So it's just a way of measuring that ensures you've got it all. You've got what you need. It doesn't just fill in the gaps like regular white sugar does. You just have to keep packing it in. Reminds you, yeah, that's what they are, Miko. Let's see if I can give you a, after I'm done with them, I'll try to give you a better look at it. Oops. Yes, I think we've gotten all of the sugar in that we need. Gonna do that. And vanilla. We need 2 teaspoons of vanilla. I was hoping to have some music ready for you, like to have background music going. But I ran out of time and wasn't able to figure that out. I mean, I know I can. I just no control said it contains what? Oh, robot noise. Well, we know it's not the pop-ups causing it. I did just hear a plane go overhead. Could it be a plane causing it? Yeah, no control said it contains molasses. This is my my homemade vanilla. It's got vanilla beans soaking. We're gonna do 2 teaspoons of that. It just went away. Yeah, I don't have enough unreleased music, Dr. Brontax, to be able to... I mean, that would be fun, but that's certainly not how I want to release my album. Okay, so now, I wish we had a little more light in this bowl. Now that it's got these ingredients in it, it's all dark. So this says, and this is one of the things about this recipe, is that, actually I'm seeing it's after the next step. Next we have to add the egg and yolk. So we're going to get to separate an egg. Hi, the Scouse Nomad. Hello. And welcome to the chat. Hi, AJ. Welcome to my first baking stream. No control, the vanilla beans are soaked in vodka. Because most vanilla that you buy at the store is made with alcohol. You can get alcohol-free vanilla, but when you're making something, I mean, it's not really, it's like when you're baking something, it's gonna cook off the alcohol. So it's not quite like having a cocktail. This bowl is so big that I can't rest the whisk in it. I don't really know why I chose this giant bowl. All right, so we need 1 egg and 1 egg yolk. So I'm going to get out something to put the egg white in, because we can use that for something else. Then we need 2 eggs. There's a 1 and a 2. Bumcats, thank you for that resub. 16-month club. Man, I'm going to have to make the next little, I think the next one is at 18 months, the next little icon. So I'm going to have to I'm going to have to create that pretty soon. Okay. Hi, Archibald. Bumcat said, just got in. Not the stream I thought I was walking into. Yes, we're not going to be doing any requests today. And let's see, where is my mouse? I'm a little disorganized here since this is completely different setup. Hi, Mad Cat. Portuguese crew feeling hungry? I'm about to make some chocolate chip cookies. I feel like I missed something. Oh! Thank you, Chronicler, for pulling up the description. Yeah, this is my first baking stream. I'm usually singing. You want some acapella, Miko? Perhaps. Thanks, AJ. AJ said, love the setup. Also love you in a ponytail. Yes, it's not very common. Bumcats, I am not making candy corns. No. I wish I had a good recipe for candy corns, but I don't. Looking like a sexy mom. Thanks. I'm not at all. Okay. Here comes 1 egg into the mix. And then we're gonna do an egg yolk only. So I'm going to separate this egg. I guess I should probably show you this, huh? We're gonna gently tear this egg open and let the egg white fall out into the bowl. We're gonna pour it over the edge on a spot that's not sharp so that the yolk doesn't break. In this kind of situation, when you just need the yolk, it's not super critical that the yolk does. I mean, you don't want the yolk to break because then it'll, just fall and mix into the egg whites. But you got to be extra careful when you're separating to use the egg whites, because if you get any yolk in there, that can ruin your recipe. Okay, just triple checking that it was yolk that we needed and not white. Now I've got to wash my hands again. Definitely don't want egg juices all over my hands. You know what sucks is that this Madonna mic is starting to squeeze my head in a way that I am not enjoying. Put the egg whites into the fridge. Okay. No, I don't have kids. Bum cats is more than one cat. Bum cats is multiple cats. Oh, is the sound too low? It probably was me mumbling. That could be a big part of it, Mad Cat. 'Cause I know, like, I can only... This microphone's not very good, so I kind of have to talk really loudly, and I just don't like doing that and don't want to. And then sometimes I mumble because I forget that I need to speak more clearly, you know? So I don't mind having a reminder to speak up. But also, you probably will have to turn your volume up because I can only do so much, and I can see on my levels here that it's not as loud as my usual stream. Okay, so now this says this is another part of the recipe that's different, is that we kind of want the sugar crystals to melt in this mixture. So it says to whisk for 30 seconds. And then we're going to let it stand for 3 minutes. And then we're going to whisk it for 30 more seconds. And then we're going to let it stand for 3 minutes. I think we do this a couple times. And I can see, and hopefully you can, that it is looking like creamy, kind of. Bumcat said, I'm multiple cats stacked on top of each other wearing a trench coat. And Boy V Robot, I have not ever used one of these mics on stage. I was saying earlier, like, that would be super cool because you can walk anywhere without being hampered by a cable of any sort. But I think it would cost a lot of money. I think it would be like, to get one that's actually good, I think it would probably be like $1,000. Do you think this has been 30 seconds? AJ said, the freedom that mic would give you during your shows. I know. It'd be so fun. Although, I do have to be by the keyboard, so it sort of would be pointless. Okay, I'm gonna say that was probably 30 seconds of stirring because my arm is tired. Mad Cat said, yeah, for the high jumps and pointing fingers thing. You know, I guess it actually would help my set. Even though I'd have to be by the keyboard a lot, it would help my set in that I wouldn't have to have a second microphone. I would only have to this one microphone. Because normally now with my setup, it's like I have one here that's on a stand for when I'm using both hands. And then when I'm playing with one hand, I have another microphone that I can grab so that I can kind of move around a bit. And I do use that one to go out in front of the keyboard sometimes. So it would eliminate the need for that coordination, which is kind of stressful. AJ said, throw in a little choreo. Hi, Renat. The real Renat is here. Oh, I guess I should have checked to see when our 3 minutes started. Should probably set a timer. I think I'm going to set a timer for 2 minutes. Except the microwave is not working. I think the microwave got unplugged. It's fine. There's an oven timer there. I set it for 3 minutes. This stream isn't really helping my tired throat. because I still like am talking for the entire time. Let's see what it says next. Let mixture stand 3 minutes, then whisk for 30 seconds. Repeat process of resting and whisking 2 more times until mixture is thick, smooth, and shiny. It's a really easy recipe. That's one thing I love about this recipe is that I think this one would be good to for anyone to make. Miko said, "Holy crap, this is a lot of work." I don't know. I feel like it's actually not. I think the molasses cookie would have been much more work. Much more work. AJ said, "Oh yeah, AJ, there's a we've acknowledged this robot voice that it comes and goes, apparently. We don't know what's affecting or what's causing it. We thought initially it was the vicinity to cell phones, because we have some cell phones here in the house, but we've moved them away and it still is like coming and going. So, yeah. And my theory is that it's this microphone. It's I have my transmitter and it's wireless. So it probably is just not great. It's just not a great one. A lot of whisking and resting. Yes, that is true, but it's not hard, Miko. It's not. It's, I guess that step is time consuming. Yeah, this is like starting to squeeze my head. My cat said, Renafi's not here. Oh yeah, Renafi isn't here, huh? Gonna get more points than him? He doesn't know you're alive, and I'm not gonna tell him. It's like pressing on my temples. But it's plastic, so it's not, it'd be cool if it was like, if I could sort of adjust it. But I can't. It's being held up by squeezing my head. You sent him a message, my cat? Well, that was nice of you. You still probably are getting more points. Oh, there's our timer. So, time to whisk again for 30 seconds. I'm just going to go for at least 30 seconds. It's thick. Seems like it's thicker than it should be. So I guess we'll see how it turns out. Okay, that was definitely 30 seconds. Then we're going to let it rest. Oh yes, Paco, my headache from the other day went away. But this thing is squeezing my head. Okay, got another 3 minutes set. Miko, I think it's both. I think browning the butter in this recipe is both for taste and consistency. It definitely gives it like a delicious toasty flavor. And it also, this is a much different consistency than cookie dough normally would be. Although I am wondering about the consistency of this. I feel like when I've made this in the past, it's been more liquidy at this stage. So I'm hoping I didn't cook the butter for too long. Hopefully I didn't like make too much liquid evaporate out of it. I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be fine, but it's just not it's not as I remember it, I don't think. You gonna try it, Miko? Oh, also thanks for setting a timer, Chronicler. Next time I should do one that I can put on the screen. I mean, that would be for the baking time. Not This is the only recipe I have ever done that calls for this method. So, yeah, I recommend it, Miko. I think that it ends up that you might need a little more butter than you know, like depending on what you're gonna make. You might need a little more butter because you're cooking off some of the water content. That's at least what they talk about in here. I probably should have read the article. I mean, I've read it before, but I probably should have read it before this stream so I could sum up for you what they learned with all their batches. I'm going to see how many. Yeah, they made more than 700 cookies for this article and to perfect this recipe. I wonder how many. I mean, I guess that's about, if each batch is 16 cookies, then 160 cookies would be 10 batches. So 700 cookies would probably be like 50 batches or something? I don't know. Boy V Robot said 700 cookies, great band name. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, Miko. Miko said I think fat changes when you cook it too. Chronicler said time is up. Did you hear that? Time to whisk some more. I wonder also like how much the temperature of the room. Not that, I mean, it's really not cold in here today, but it's not hot either. I know. I would love to work at the test kitchen because you'd constantly be tasting all kinds of delicious stuff. You know, like whatever project anyone is working on, it would be part of your job, I think, to test it, to taste test it. This whisk is not the best for constant whisking. It's kind of hurting my arm. I'm definitely getting a little bit of an arm workout with this because I don't work out enough, apparently. But also, I think it's safe to say there's not really a workout, there's not really an exercise where you'd be doing this exact motion. Let's call that 30 seconds. And we're going to do it one more time. My hand is all messed up. Hokoki, you have the same whisk? I do really like this whisk a lot. It's my favorite whisk. But it's not great for a long-term whisking situation. Okay, so after one more whisk, we're going to put in the flour mixture, which is flour and baking soda. So what I do in this situation to save a bowl is I'm going to put in the baking soda first. You pretty much always yeah. Oh, you have the timer going again? Thank you, Chronicler. I did it too. Getting baker's elbow. Miko, that is the best part. when you're done with the utensils and you get to taste the dough. So I was going to say that most baking recipes, you want to always add the flour last, and you want to stir it up as little as possible. Like, you just want to mix it until it is combined and fairly uniform, because the more I think the flour step is one reason why home bakers, like, when a home baked good is not that great, because like it should be better than store bought. It should always be better than store bought because it's fresh. But I think that it's common for people to want to just mix and mix, and when the flour's in there, it's getting more and more glutinous the more that it gets agitated. Like, the more you mix it in, the more it's like creating bonds with the other ingredients and making it more dense and bread-like, like a dense bread. So there are certain recipes where you want that, like bread, for example, or like a pizza dough. Like, you want the gluten to be strong, and you want it to be really, really, forming the gluten bonds constantly. But for something like cookies or muffins or cakes, stuff like that, you just want to be gentle with it. Hi, Leo. I'm making chocolate chip cookies. Dillinger Nick said, "Who you calling dense?" Bread, probably. Yes, our timers went off at the same time. So here we go. With one final whisking session before we add the baking soda, and then the flour, and then the chocolate chips. The thing that I'm altering about this recipe, which makes it okay for me to share it, because now it's going to be my recipe, is that it calls for 1 1/4 cups of chocolate chips and 3/4 cups of nuts, which are optional. I am not going to put nuts in this. I'm going to increase the amount of chocolate chips to however much is in the bag that I have. And it says to use semi-sweet, but what I have is dark. So if you don't like dark chocolate, actually, I feel like you would still benefit from trying these cookies, like these actual cookies that I'm making. Okay. I feel like that was 30 seconds, right? Hi, Renafi. Is Skynet taking over? Does that mean that the robot voice is back? Hi, Sincerely Me. Thank you for resubscribing. Oh, I agree, Hulk Hoki. Renafi, we're making chocolate chip cookies. And Hulk Hoki said bittersweet is the best, in my opinion, which I totally agree. That is my favorite. It's not too dark, and it's not too bland or sweet. It's right in between. My hand gets a break from that whisk, so that's nice. Baking soda. I'm busting out the most giant baking soda container. I bought it thinking it was a good idea, and now I'm like, it's a little too big for baking. No, Miko, I am not vegetarian, but I do love vegetables. Okay, so where's this? Oh, you know what? I didn't add the salt. That's a really bad When whisking, I was supposed to add both sugars, salt and vanilla. I was just thinking to myself, how does this not have salt? Let's see here. Just want to go ahead and ban that person. Okay. Salt. 1 teaspoon. I'm going to reuse my vanilla teaspoon. Get vinegar and some Play-Doh and you have a volcano. That's true. That's true. Fun can be had with a giant baking soda. It just, it's now a little inconvenient for measuring for baking, you know? Okay, there's our salt. I'm gonna go ahead and mix that in when I mix in this baking soda. So baking soda says half teaspoon. Okay. The whisking continues. Yeah, I think I'm gonna switch to a spoon, actually. To my trusty wooden cookie spoon. Here it is. Time's up. Hi, organ dude. Yeah, we're doing a baking stream today. Okay, I'm gonna need a spatula as well to scrape the sides. Yeah, I finally am taking the time. I finally took the time to figure out a basic setup for a baking stream. And the season is right, finally, because it's been way too hot. I could have done some sooner if I wasn't recording my album. Sad, really, you might die before using all that baking soda. I hope not. I actually use a lot just for like various purposes. So I'm not too worried about that, Miko. Okay, but what sucks is that when as it gets lower, it's like I have to really reach down in there, and it's at some point it's going to be too low. So I'm going to have to put it in a different container. I'm leveling out my baking soda now to make sure I don't get too much. No singing today, organ dude. You are correct. This is solely a baking stream. Microphone. I need to do this every so often because it's really squeezing my head. That's kind of a problem. Because we still have a ways to go. Okay, I'm mixing in the salt and baking soda. Very important to measure those things accurately. Miko said, "Can you do We Didn't Start the Fire a cappella?" I don't know the lyrics to that one, aside from "We didn't start the fire. It was always burning till the world as the world was turning." No, I don't know. Miko also said I use like a tablespoon every 6 months. Oh, of baking soda? Yeah, I use it for other things too. Yeah, you can put a container in your fridge and keep it smelling fresh, as Chronicler has said. Oh, thank you, organ dude. Oh yeah, no worries. Thanks for stopping by. And this is not replacing my singing streams. So I will be back for another one of those. Actually, I don't know exactly what day because I do have an in real life show next Friday when I would normally do a stream. So and my voice has been tired. I was initially thinking I would do a short stream on Thursday. Um, but now I'm not sure if I'm going to do that. Hulk Hokey said, M needs a cooking song. I love baking these here cookies. Those are the lyrics that Hulk Hokey provided. Leo, I have not seen that episode of The Office, but I'm sure it's funny. Yeah, it works great for cleaning. Miko, baking soda. Thank you, Dr. Brontax, for pulling up the Discord, if anyone wants to come hang out there. Yeah, a real life show in San Antonio, Oregon, dude. At 502 Bar on Friday. I'm opening for Nina Diaz, which I'm excited about. Use it for cleaning. Yeah, vinegar and baking soda. Okay, this is looking really good. It's like I don't know if you can tell this in the camera, but it's like fluffy, looks soft. So now I'm going to add the flour. And it says 1 3/4 cups. Here's my flour vat. This is a vat of flour. 1 3/4 cups. See, here's the head of the, it is like a Russian nesting doll. It's interesting though because it's like I think with the nesting dolls, it's like this would be, the biggest one would be like the grandmother, right? And then the mom and the baby or whatever. I don't know. But it's like, look how much just by existing, it's like grandma went and got a tan. Like she's tan compared to the rest of her family. Babushka. Yeah, they do. They actually have faces, yeah. Well, yeah, see you later, Organ Dude. Boy B Robot says, Nina rules. I have a signed Girl in a Coma album. Yeah, she's really cool. I'm excited to be playing a show with her. Like, especially, like, I feel like it just makes sense that we would play a show together. So I'm happy that she asked me to play. Okay, so what I do when I'm scooping flour is scoop it gently as well, because you really don't want to like pack it in there, because you can easily, like the brown sugar, you could pack this in, and then it'll be dry. Too much flour in this recipe. Scottish Niners, thank you. Scottish Niners said, very relaxing to watch at 9:20 p.m. here. I'm so glad. So there's our 1 cup. We still need a 3/4. So I kind of like loosely shake instead of sifting, because you can sift your flour, but I don't like to do that. It's just another step. So I prefer the scoop and level method. Oh, see, this is when these cups kind of suck. There's no handle, so the flour is getting all over me, and I'm going to have to wash my hands again, which isn't necessarily bad. It's just slightly annoying at times. Flour's done. Okay. And then we're going to just stir this in only as much as we need to. Yay, Freezy Baw's back. I'm still here. Making cookies. So this is a good point to, that is about, because I'm going to have to scrape the sides. It collects all up the sides, as you can see. We want that to be incorporated. So I'm going to switch to this scraper to do the last little bit of stirring. And especially like with chocolate chip, you don't need to make it perfect at this point because we still have to stir in the chocolate chips. So that is actually pretty good. Chocolate chip time. We've got guitar. That's my pronunciation of this. Actually, I don't know how to say the G. My back hurts all of a sudden. Okay. And it says extra dark chocolate baking chips, but I'm pretty sure this means bittersweet, like we talked about earlier. Like Hulk Hokie mentioned earlier. Because this says 63%. So it's not, that's not even extra, like I think extra dark would be like closer to 80, definitely over 70. But this is 63. I'm going to just open a corner here because I want to pour it and measure it and just see how much it is, so we know how much the recipe has been altered. There's 1 cup. Is it gonna be a 3/4? Yeah. And there's a couple left for me to eat. Oh, stretch reminder. Thank you. I'll stretch whilst eating some of these chocolate chips. Thank you, Paco. These chocolate chips are looking a little... They have that... Mmm. Yeah, it's a good chip. Oftentimes, Miko, I have semi-sweet because I think it's the most common. Like, I think if I get chocolate chips at Costco, for example, I can get semi-sweet, but I try not to ever get milk. I need to cough and I don't know what to do. At least I can move this to the side. Now I need some water. I didn't want to cough into your ear. Okay. All right, so back to the spoon now. To do this last stir. I would love you to tell me if ever I have the microphone positioned to where it's you can just hear me breathing into it. I don't want that to happen. Okay, so we're doing a final stir just to get that last little bit of flour mixed in, and get our chocolate chips incorporated. This is the point where I need to get a spoon and put a little bit of cookie dough aside so that while the cookies are baking, I can taste it. That's imperative. I don't know if I could make a batch of cookies without tasting the dough. Miko, it always surprises me when people prefer milk chocolate because yeah, it's just so mild. It's just very mild. So it's not, I feel like it's not the best for baking. Leo said, what kind of chocolate do you usually put in cookies? Yeah, I usually put, if I can get bittersweet chocolate chips, then that's what I put. And second choice would be semi-sweet. Those are my two preferences, Leo. Okay. It's like I can't swallow like normal because I don't want it to be loud, but there's a spot in my throat that just needs some hydration. Let me try this. Put this aside. Hopefully that wasn't still too loud. All right, so our dough is ready. I'm totally gonna set some aside for tasting. Because that's really important, I think. That seems good, right? And then, let's see, arrange 2 inches apart on prepared baking sheets. 8 dough balls per sheet. We're gonna do 375, and we need to line our baking sheets with parchment. So let's see. Do I have the room to do it right here? I feel like I should make the room, right? I think I can do it. I think I just move this recipe and these spoons. And we'll just do 1 sheet at a time over here. Scoot this. Oh, you didn't hear it. Good, Leo. I don't want to do ASMR unintentionally of me drinking water. Miko said, do you get the Costco hot dog when you're there? I have gotten that, but not usually. I feel like I do like hot dogs, but I try not to eat them very often because I don't think they're very good for us. So I try to reserve that for like a really amazing hot dog place. Okay, I'm gonna set one here. Actually, I will parchment them up over here. And then I'll bring one over. I just got a brand new container of parchment. Miko said, I love that the owner will never change the price on them. Yeah, I mean, it is a great place to get a really inexpensive meal. That's for sure. So that is awesome. Scottish Niners, that it does look tasty, right? I could just eat the whole bowl like that. But I won't because we're baking them today. Koki said there's a place down the street from me that sells hot dogs wrapped in wontons. That sounds awesome. Yum. Yeah, that sounds, I've never had that or heard of that. I thought, as I was reading that, I thought you were going to say hot dogs wrapped in bacon. Because I have had that, and that is like, it's so good. And it just, I think I ate it one time and was like, I don't know if I ever need to eat that again. And they give you, oh, do they give you teriyaki sauce? Oh, at the wonton place. Yum, they give you teriyaki sauce to dip it in. Thank Jim Senegal for that. The man used to get a hot dog for lunch anytime he visited a local Costco. I don't know who that is. Miko said, I had a Chinese place that did a cheesesteak egg rolls. Huh. Yeah, there's here in San Antonio, there's quite a bit of like one of my favorite places to go is Sing's, which is a like Texas Vietnamese place. And so they have like brisket. They have all these Vietnamese dishes, but with basically like with like barbecue with Texas barbecue type flair. It's really good. Really good. Okay, so if you're ever baking and if you're a person who one of your issues with baking is the cookies sticking to the sheet, to the baking sheet, parchment is awesome for that. I highly recommend. And it's compostable too. And you can reuse it like we could reuse these for the same batch. You don't have to like throw them away. Oh no, robot mode. Archibald, thanks for stopping by. It's really great to see you. Mad Cat said, don't you dare. Have to start early tomorrow. Bummer. Oh, okay. So Dillinger Nick said Jim Senegal was the ex-CEO and co-founder of Costco. Well, that's nice that they're, you know, continuing his idea of offering inexpensive hot dogs. This kind of looks cool. This that chocolate chip package that I just threw there and it happened to look cool. Okay. He threatened to murder the board when they wanted to raise the price on hot dogs. Jim told the new CEO, "Oh, that if you raise the price of the hot dog, I'll shoot you." Wow. Okay, that's intense. Okay, so aside from parchment, another thing I highly recommend for making cookies is using an ice cream scoop to scoop them out, because it just does a really fantastic job of making them uniform and nice and neat. And I think, actually no, this one is more than 3 tablespoons. I'm gonna measure real quick because it looks like way more than 3 tablespoons. And I don't want to have an even more limited number of cookies. I think this might be 4. It's closer to 5. It's actually almost 6 tablespoons. So I'm not going to go with that one. I'm going to use this other cookie scoop that's a little smaller, and I'm just going to make it heaping. This is the one that I usually use anyway. This is like more normal size cookie scoop. But you know what? These cookies need to be big. It does say, the recipe does say number 24 cookie scoop. This is a 40, and this one is a 12. That doesn't help me at all. But it says to divide it into 16 portions. So you know what? I'm going to do that. I'm going to roughly do that. I know I already took some out for my tasting bowl. So the cookies are going to be slightly smaller than they would have. Okay, I'm going to wash my hands again because I'm going to start actually rolling the dough. The classic school cafeteria mashed potato scooper. Yes, exactly. Freezy Ba, I recommend. If you like to make cookies, I recommend the scoop. Hi, Karina. Welcome to the chat. Normally on this channel, we're doing music and music-related stuff. This is the first baking stream ever for me, because I also really enjoy baking. So here we are. I'm currently separating the dough into roughly 16 pieces. We'll see how it looks. Yeah, I think this seems pretty good. Karina, you totally could. Go big or go home. Make one giant cookie. I have never made one giant cookie before. I have a feeling it would not go as well as I would like. I also think that these are going to be bigger than I want. It says to put 8 on a sheet. I'm a little concerned that they will that they'll spread out too much and stick together. Oh, you know what? I forgot to set the temperature. 375. And also got to check the position of the shelves, because you don't want them to be like all the way to the top or all the way to the bottom. If you used mini M&Ms, would you keep the chocolate chips too or totally replace them? So I think what I would do, I like when recipes give you the leeway of, like this one says, you know, 1¼ cups chocolate chips and 3/4 cups of optional pecans or walnuts. So what I would do is do 1¼ cups of chips and then 3/4 cups of mini M&Ms. I love having mini M&Ms in cookies. It's so good. Oh, you get really anxious getting on camera. Yeah, I understand that, Karina. But all you can do is try. And, you know, if you don't like it, don't do it again. Reese's Pieces, yum. I love me some Reese's Pieces. Yeah, but you could totally replace the chocolate chips with M&Ms if you wanted to. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to do 6. Just to be safe. I really don't like when cookies start melding together. That's when the edges turn square. You have to like cut them apart. The recipe does not say to roll these, but I don't really know how else you would do 16 equal portions. Adding a little bit more to some of these. And I'm also gonna kind of flatten them a tiny bit. I'm gonna get the other tray that's prepared. The ghoul said, hi, the ghoul, said, round cookies are for squares? I don't agree with that at all. I mean, most cookies are round, right? Drop cookies. "15 equal portions and one small boy." Okay. Now I gotta separate this half into 8 more. I'm just kind of eyeballing and breaking the dough. Ooh, breaking the dough into halves until I've got 8. Oh, I would eat square cookies. I just don't want them to end up square. They're supposed to be round. That one was too small. In fact, I think Cookie Monster ate square cookies at one point. I'm sure he did. Cookie Monster ate every cookie within his vicinity. But yeah, I bet he ate different shapes of cookies at some point just to, make a point about shapes. The variety of shapes. The edges aren't as good when they stick together, too. That is true. Also, it just makes me feel like I could have done better, I would for sure still eat them, but I would be like making a note somewhere about the next time not putting them so close together or not putting as many on the sheet. Okay, I'm going to rinse these hands, or wash them actually, because now they're buttery. And then I will prep the final, because I do have 4 baking sheets. So I'm not going to wait until these are done. I am going to read, let's see, bake cookies. Oh, bake cookies 1 tray at a time. Okay, I can do that. Until cookies are golden brown and still puffy, and edges have begun to set. Centers are still soft. 10 to 14 minutes. I feel like this section of cookie recipe is also something that you have to really get. Like, you have to bake enough to where you can say, like, okay, yeah, those edges are slightly golden or whatever. But, oh yeah, and rotating the sheet halfway through baking. Okay. Ever hear of a Buckeye cookie? No, but I love Buckeyes a lot. I'm just gonna set these here. I don't normally have all the ingredients just laying around like that. My oven, Dillinger Nick, I don't know if you said yours is the same, but it doesn't tell you what temperature it currently is, which is kind of annoying to me. I feel like ovens should sort of, it should be showing the degrees as it heats up. So I just have to wait until it makes a noise. It's kind of annoying. It's chocolate chip, peanut butter, cookie dough dipped in chocolate ganache. I'm all about that. Oh wait, peanut butter chocolate chip dough. Okay, so peanut butter dough with chocolate chips in it, and then it's dipped in chocolate ganache after it's baked, I'm assuming. Sounds amazing. The ghoul said magic square cookies are square. I would assume they would be, but I don't know what a magic square cookie is. Yeah, same, Dillinger Nick. My mom's double oven always tells her exactly what the current temp is. I know, it's like, I feel like most ovens tell you. It has a little display. Why doesn't it say what the temperature is? It seems like it would not be hard. Yeah, Freezy Boss said, my oven shows me the temperature as it goes up, but I hardly use it. Yeah, I feel that way about anyone's oven who tells you what the temperature is, Dillinger Nick. Oh, Miko said it's a raw cookie dough. You cook the flour first. So it's basically a a Buckeye, but made with peanut butter chocolate chip cookie dough instead of like the straight peanut butter filling. That makes sense. I get it now. Um, oh, you're moving, Dillinger Nick. Well, you'll have to let me know. You'll have to keep me updated on that because so that the next time I want to send you something, I send it to the right place. I was actually just thinking that when I sent you your postcard the other day. I was like, should I check if he has the same address? And then I thought, nah. I know he mentioned he's involved with the. Aren't you like the HOA president at your building? I feel like you mentioned that. So I just assumed that you were staying there. Okay, not till March. Okay. Yes, we are talking about the same thing, Miko. Well, so regular Buckeyes have like a peanut butter. It's almost like a peanut butter fudge filling. It's not cookie dough at all. There's no flour in it. I make those often for Christmas. Just regular Buckeyes. Um, and it's just peanut butter. It's like peanut butter and I think butter and powdered sugar, and that's it. So there's no flour, there's no anything else. It is kind of the consistency of cookie dough, but it's a little more dense, talking about density. Oh yeah, that makes sense, Dylan Jernick. It seems like it'd be so much work to be an HOA president. Like, I don't think I would like that at all. The oven didn't beep, did it? That's the other thing. Ah, there it goes. Okay. So it says 10 to 14 minutes, one tray at a time, and switching it, rotating it halfway through. So I'm going to do 6 minutes, and then I will rotate that. I'm going to get out another tray and parchment it up so I can get the last of the dough ready. Definitely won't need another piece of parchment after this. And there's only four cookie dough balls left to roll. You saw an Instagram hack of what I'm talking about. Oh. Yeah, I don't know about that. Dillinger Nick said, I'm an unpaid project manager for 40 other units in the building on top of my normal day job. I haven't had a vacation since visiting Texas in March. Wow. Yeah, that's unpaid. That's for somebody who's like retired to do. I've got like an eyelash sticking in my eyeball. I'm gonna roll these cookies and then maybe try to get that out. Oh, I see, Miko. A cookie dough. Yeah. That's what I figured you meant. You meant like they're actual little cookie dough balls and you dip them in the chocolate as though they are Buckeyes. And they're similar, but they're like cookie dough, peanut butter, chocolate chip Buckeyes, which sounds really good. And you are correct. No control. It's a great ad for guitar chocolate. My first sponsorship. Send me chocolate chips. Send me chocolate. Shouts out the Deftones. I'm not sure what you're referring to, Nico. Oh, wait. Dillinger Nick said, yes. Dillinger Nick said, I visited San Diego for Dia de los Deftones. Was there for 24 hours. Yeah, you should move. So you can't just like step down as president, I'm assuming. You've been overachieving. That's for sure. I feel like this one's going to be extra big. I'll stagger them so as to hopefully prevent the square edges. Can't step down until March. And then it'll be a double whammy of see you later, bye. Is that from G.I. Joe? Much like Help Computer. Okay. I'm leaving those dough scraps. Those are ready. There's a lot of hand washing involved. Yeah, they're going to be pretty big, Nico. The eyelash is migrating. I need to look in a mirror, but I'm going to still talk to you. The mirror is not far. It should be not long before I have to flip, not flip, but move the cookies around. Oh, I got it. It really was. I feel like oftentimes it feels like there's an eyelash, and then I never see anything. But there was one, and I got it out. Now I'm washing my hands again. We've got 48 seconds till rotating. Too bad I can't bring the camera over there. We were talking about having an oven cam so you could see the progress. They're starting to flatten out. Not quite there yet. Sam, did I just hear G.I. Joe? I can't hear them without thinking about the dub PSAs. That's what we're talking about. Dillinger Nick said, see you later, bye. So I wondered if he meant gonna stick it, flip it, and see you later, bye. You did hear it. Okay, oven mitts are crucial at this point. And we're just gonna turn the pan. Ooh, hopefully my microphone doesn't melt. This creates a more even bake on the cookies. Oh, gotta reset the timer. Let's see. So I did 6 minutes. It says 10 to 14. So I'm gonna do 5. We're gonna start with 11. They're looking pretty good. Sam said, OMG, all right. Yeah, I'm at work, so I hear parts of things. I have those ripped to a DVD somewhere. Early YouTube. Yes, I remember. Good times. Miko said, good tip. I have never rotated. Yeah. It definitely prevents, because, you know, there are hot spots in your oven. Most ovens have. And so rotating them keeps it from, you know, the back ones from getting too toasty or whatever. Works out. Is it robot voice again? No. Sam said, we still yell out pork chop sandwiches from time to time. I think pork chop sandwiches maybe is my favorite. That's pretty good. I mean, there's so many good ones. Also the also the kids on that fall on the ice. That one's pretty good too. Wait, where's the camera that films the cookies so zoomed? It's like a Twilight thing. Don't see the camera. Oh, yeah, it's over. It's like up on, it's on a stand. We had to really like formulate this setup. So to try and make it look like something that you'd want to watch, you know? So yeah, we've got a little webcam right here that's just pointing straight down. They are looking pretty good. Okay, let me see. Let's see what else it says. When they're done, oh, transfer baking sheet to wire rack. Transfer baking sheet to wire rack. So you cool them on the sheet, apparently. That's what that tells me. Usually it'll say like, remove cookies to a wire rack, like take them off, or let them sit on the sheet for 5 minutes before removing to a wire rack. But this is saying to just put them straight on the wire rack. So I'm going to get out the rack. I've got 2 racks here. We'll set one here so you can see its cooling progress. Not that it will do anything. And then one's going to go on this side where you can't see it because there's nowhere else to put it right now. Oh, they're looking good too. They're looking flattened like normal cookies. Is it paranormal, Mad Cat? That's what I should have said. That would have been way more interesting. Sam said the burping one was my least favorite. You mean the one where they're going, that one? I didn't think that was burping, but I guess that if that's the one you're talking about, then that got the point across. I'm not totally sure, Leo, whether I'm gonna do more cooking streams in the future. I mean, it's kind of up to you guys. I'm cooking and, you know, baking for fun anyway during baking season. So once it gets hot, I might, if we all really enjoy it, I might have to switch to something else like Rice Krispie treats, where it's not that much heat. Sinister Cinema said the robot voice lasts for about 22 seconds each time. That's very specific. I wonder what that means. I wish there was a way for us to know. Dialato thinks that we should. Okay, yeah, Sam, the baseball burp challenge. Thank you, Sam. Sam said it's a nice vibe you got here for a cooking baking stream. Thank you, No Control, who agrees. Miko said G.I. Joe PSA React stream? That would be fun. I love them so much. 1 second left. Okay, I'm going to read one more time the description. It says, till cookies are golden brown and still puffy and edges have begun to set, but centers are still soft. golden brown, still puffy. Edges are beginning to set. I think we might need a few more minutes. But no, you know what? I think, let me show you how they look. Look at how beautiful they are. Don't want to get them too close to the camera. They look golden brown, yet still puffy. The edges are, you know what? I'm going to put them in for 1 more minute just to be safe. But I do want to say that one of my baking tips is that you can underbake cookies. And if you realize, like, because oftentimes I think people overbake them because they seem underbaked when they're still hot. They're gonna be really soft if you're making soft cookies, or if that's your goal. Karina, thanks for the follow. I just saw that 26 minutes ago. I mean, I know you've been in chat, but thank you for the follow. Nice catch, Blanco Nino. So I think they get overbaked really easily because people are worried that they're underbaked. But what you can do is, if they're fully cooled and they still seem underbaked, like if you break one open and you're like, yeah, it seems kind of raw, just put them back in the oven. Like, you can totally bake them a little bit more and it's not going to hurt them. For anything I've tried that with, I've tried it with both cookies, like regular sort of drop cookies like these, and also with quick breads like banana bread, which is really great because that's kind of hard to tell sometimes. Okay. I'm going to call these done. The centers are puffy. They're golden. The edges are set. I'm going to set these right here on the baking sheet, or on the cooling rack, and put in the next set. See, I kind of think if I had done 8 on there, it would have been too many. And they would be touching the edges. I'm going to do, so now since I did 6 on the first side, and then I did 5 plus 1, I'm just going to go ahead and do 6. But I'll kind of keep an eye on them because it does make a little bit of a difference leaving them in and not opening the door. Miko said, oh yeah, those are chunky boys. Wimp Dork said, beautiful. I just saw a nice catch, Blanco Nino again. Thanks, Scottish Niners. Sam said, growing up, we always slammed the cookie sheet. I have seen that too. Yeah, I have totally seen that as a method, like doing the cookie. It's got like a, I don't think it's a cookie slam, but it's something like that, where it like makes the air come out, and it makes them more crinkly, sort of, right? But I actually have not tried that yet. Too bad your ass got sacked. Miko said, I always underbake my brownies because I don't like them cakey. Yeah. Keeps them gooey. Thank you, No Control. We'll find out in a little bit if they look perfect. Mad Cat said, Emily, I took measures. All balls are at the same distance from each other. You're a mathematical genius. Thank you. Thank you. Hi, Hacks Food. Thanks for the follow. This is actually my first food stream. I don't know if you have a channel, but I would love to know. I normally am singing and playing music for everybody and playing requests, but we've got chocolate chip cookies are basically our mascot here, and I've been talking about potentially doing a baking stream for a long time. So these, yeah, they as they cool, they flatten out a little bit, which is what they're doing now. It'll take a while for them to be like fully cool though. Miko said it's always good to branch out on Twitch anyway. That is true. I'm finally doing it. I mean, I do the live learns. At least I was doing those before. But yeah, it's cool. It kind of just makes me feel like I have my own TV channel. And we're just hanging out, you know. I would like to do this regularly. I feel like I should at least do it once a month and see if we, you know, want to do it more than that. Maybe, I don't know. Just waiting on the Fortnite stream. Yeah, I don't quite. I just realized the other day that I am not set up to do. I was hoping that I would be able to stream some Rocksmith, which is, you know, music related, because it's a basically a video game where you are playing guitar or bass and you're learning how to play, which I think would be really fun. I mean, it's fun. I play it off stream sometimes, but it has a crazy lag, and we were looking it up, and the PS4 that we have, you can't fix the lag on it. Like, which is fine for learning and practicing. It's kind of annoying, but I don't think it would be sufficient for streaming. Like that would be, it sounds like I'm screwing up the whole time, basically. Like the audio is messed up, even though I'm playing it correctly. There's an audio lag, so yeah. Dillinger Nick said, do it. Yeah, bummer. Do it, bummer. Yeah. I mean, maybe at some point I can upgrade to a more current system and then do it. Miko said I was crazy in the Rock Band 2 days. Yeah, I really loved Guitar Hero. We had Guitar Hero, and just like, oh, are you timing it again? Is it robot voice right now? 22 seconds. That's so weird. What does that mean? Dillinger Nick said, PS5. Yeah, that's really weird. I don't know what that means. Rabbit City, I agree. Rocksmith is fun. We got 50 seconds again before I need to turn these. Oh man, these cookies look good. I might maybe... No, you know what? I don't know what I'll do. My plan was initially to do the drawing for the cookies, for who gets some cookies, and pack them up, because I have a vacuum sealer. So I was gonna vacuum seal them up and get them ready to go. But I think I might wait to do that because they need to be 100% cooled, which might take a while. Miko said, it's cool because you're learning something from a video game. Yeah, it's something actually useful in real life. I agree, yeah. I mean, video games are fun and they don't have to be useful, but it does make me feel better about playing it, that it is useful. And I would like to... So lately I've been doing the bass because I'm like, I should get better at bass. Like, there's no reason not to try, even though, because I feel like, you know, I am already better at bass. Like, guitar is way harder. So I'm already better at bass than guitar. But it's not like I'm amazing at bass. I could use more learning on bass and more practice. So Paco said 22 seconds every 22 minutes. Nah, JK. You could be right. We could be in a weird... We might be in the Twilight Zone since we started the stream and now everything is 22s. The ghoul said, I love drums, but I want to play upright bass. That would be fun. Miko said, it's crazy to watch people play guitar. It makes no sense to me. Yeah, I mean, it it's impressive to me because I feel like it's not like you need skill. Like you can't just there are a lot of instruments like that. I feel like that's one thing about piano and keyboard and bass, both of those instruments. Not saying they're super easy or that anyone can be like a maestro or anything, but you can pick one up and play, you know. Whereas with a guitar, I could play single notes, but playing chords is physically difficult, I feel like. Um, Kind of like maybe it's easier than something like a trumpet or a trombone where you have to really know how to do it. You know, you can't just pick it up and go. So Dillinger Nick said, "You need skill. Tell that to every person that's trapped me in the garage and made me listen to their crappy Incubus cover on acoustic guitar that they brought to a party." Wow, that sounds pretty horrible. That's only happened to me a few times where people are like brought their acoustic guitar to a party and are trying to jam. Not that many times for me, thankfully. Miko said you would be good at Smith songs then. Yeah, I mean, I single no, well, I completely disagree, Miko. I think Smith songs are harder than most. They're deceptively hard because I covered one. I'm about to taste this cookie dough. I'm going to move the microphone aside here for a second. It's got crunchy chocolate chips. Great toasty butter flavor. Mm-hmm. That's awful. Dillinger Nick. Dillinger Nick said it was always the same guy. He'd literally just hang out in the garage near the drinks and trap people there. Sucks. Oh, Leo said my youngest brother can play violin. It's making my throat tickle to eat that cookie dough and chocolate for some reason and then talk. Crazy Boss said, I feel like I could play guitar, but something about metal strings and sweaty fingers I can't get over. You mean like you have a phobia of metal strings and sweaty fingers? Yeah, that sounds like a living nightmare, Dillinger Nick. I think I would stop inviting that guy to parties. Um oh, two of them are touching. They're not going to be square, but they are touching. That's disappointing. I didn't have the distance accuracy that I thought I did. These ones won't, though, because look how much space they have. They won't get that big. Um, oh no. That's even worse. Dillinger Nick said we never invited him. His roommate always brought him without asking. I'm sure it's because he was like awkwardly inviting himself. And the roommate was like, I guess. We got 30 seconds until this tray comes out. And we'll see. We have to check it every time because it might not be totally ready. It's not overdone, but that doesn't mean that the oven is acting exactly, precisely the same as it did for the first tray. I prefer the cookie scoop over rolling them because it is much better. Oh yeah, these are good. These might actually be slightly overdone. Very slightly. It's hard to tell in this light. But the edges are browned a little bit, a little toasty brown, but the centers are still puffed. And so this last tray only has 4 on it. So I think I'm gonna do 5 and 5, and we will see. We'll see what that does. Because you kind of need to adjust for the time. It never hurts to do a little less just to ensure that it won't burn. Oh, Freezy Boss said, it's more like I know it will feel weird on my fingers until I just play so much they form calluses and I feel nothing. Yeah, that is one thing that's hard about guitar, is that your fingers start to really hurt, and I think it takes a long time to get the calluses built up. Miko said, I bet you can only eat half of one of those. I would win that bet because I could, if I didn't care about my health, I think I could probably eat 3 of them, maybe 4. No Control said, these would make an amazing ice cream sandwich. Yes, they would. They would. They're a great, well, it'd be pretty huge, but yeah, maybe whoever wins them could make an ice cream sandwich with it. There's a bowl for you to look at. Miko said, we're all fat kids at heart. Yeah. I would love to eat. I mean, I used to. I remember one time when I was like basically just old enough to make a batch of cookies by myself at home. I made cookies a lot with my mom. When she would make cookies, I would help her. And then, you know, she would help me. And then at some point, I was probably, I mean, I don't think I had just become old enough, but I was probably like 13 or something. And I made a batch of cookies, and I ate so much cookie dough that I felt sick afterwards. Like, I ate so much, and then I started feeling sick. I was like, I need to lay down. I don't feel good. So I haven't done that since, but I still want to. I just know it's not a good idea. I just know a little better now. And I would say that to any of you, to anyone who's like makes a batch of cookie dough and then eats it all. It's just not a good idea. Even if you can, doesn't mean that you should. Miko said, I threw up off dominoes one time. Yeah, it's just, you have to learn. You have to learn that there's a reason why you control your eating impulses. Do you like this this chocolate chip less dough ball that I've made? Just completely absent-mindedly. I'm gonna see how these are doing. The little orphan cookie. Mika said that was the day I truly became an adult. I would not say the same for my cookie dough experience. I definitely was still a child at that point. But then I was a wise child. They're pretty tall still. They're the biggest ones on this last tray. So we'll see what a difference that makes. I'm going to have to, is it robot voice again? Oh, it was? Was it 22 seconds? It's gotta be this microphone. It's gotta be something with this setup because cell interference isn't exactly 22 seconds long, you know? It just isn't. I don't think. Maybe there's something that I don't know about. I mean, obviously, there is. Otherwise, I would say what's causing it. But so, I asked this the other day on the stream, but is anyone baking anything for the holidays? Is it Cassie, Dr. Brontax? Cassie is haunting us from the other room. We can't escape her. Her powers. Okay, these cookies are much taller at this point. So, you know what? I'm going to let them go for one more minute before I flip them. Because I only did 5. They might actually need more, being bigger. But I don't want to risk it. It's her cousin, Mike. Mika. Micah. Yes, you're right. It is Micah. No Control said, I'm not baking, but I always bring white fudge covered Oreos to Christmas. Yum. I believe it. They're deadly. I believe that they're deadly. Oreos are good. So, do you cover them in the white fudge, or do you just buy them that way? Is it a kitchen project for you, No Control? Sinister Cinema said last 2 were approximately 10 minutes apart. Maybe it's been every 10 minutes. Does that seem accurate? I mean, that wouldn't be that surprising. Okay, flipping these to get that even golden color. I'm gonna do 5 minutes again to be safe, possibly with 1 additional minute. Oh, you buy them. I don't think I've had them. I have had something, I've had the Trader Joe's JoJo's that are, I've had some, I bought some when I was doing my writing retreat in the RV. I bought some that were peanut butter. It was like peanut butter and chocolate JoJo's that were covered in a peanut butter ganache or fudge or whatever. They were really good. So yeah, I've had something similar, but not the actual Oreo ones. Miko said, I love that we're going down the rabbit hole of data. I am interested in data. Hi, Sea Hog. How are you? Have you been hanging out? Good to see you. Sea Hog said, my friend from Argentina sometimes brings alfajores, which are amazing. Maybe I'll try and bake some of those. Those are good. Those are really good. They're like, they have, I don't know if it's caramel or just dulce de leche, but they're like a sugar cookie. It's like a sandwich cookie, right? They're like a 2 sugar cookies with some dulce de leche in the middle. They're really good. Are we gonna figure it out, Miko? That would be cool, but I kind of don't think we're going to. Unless I get a different microphone and it doesn't do the robot voice. Sea Hog, you should definitely try and bake some of those and then report back and let us know how they go. Yeah, these are looking good. These ones that are cooling. Another great thing that I always forget, unless it's in the recipe, is to, pretty much on any drop cookie like these, you can take some, like, flaky sea salt and just put a little bit on top before you bake it. So good. Highly recommend. Although, oftentimes, like just now, I probably wouldn't have done that just now just because I'm sharing these with you and I don't know, maybe you wouldn't like that, but I recommend. Should I leave this alone, you think? It's probably getting tough, like what I was saying about the Doug wants me to throw it into his mouth. I don't think that's a good idea. I think I'll miss, and it's pretty, like, soft and sticky. Do you want it? Do you want some, wait, here's some, let me stick some chocolate chips in it because there's a couple extras there. There you go. Miko said, I really want to try and do this no-bake caramel apple pie cheesecake. Yum. That sounds amazing. I think you should do that. If it's something you want to try, you should try it. Yes. No control. Sea salt does bring out the flavors. Sam said, are we forming a ghost band? We have Cassie and now Mike. Who's next? Will the bass become possessed? I hope not. We really don't need that. Although it is very possible. And then maybe one of the guitars that hangs on the wall will fall off or something. 57 seconds. They look pretty good. Once the oven is switched off and all the cookies are cooling, then I will set up the giveaway like we did last time. So everyone will, I'll do that first because I'll give you plenty of time to enter. It's not going to be like a really quick thing. And it's going to be, subs will have twice the chance of winning, which is what we did last time. So if you really want these cookies, you might want to increase your chances by becoming a sub. And everyone gets one entry. So you'll get one entry, but basically at the sub you will have twice the chance. Yep, I think these are done. Turning this off and the timer off, and let's see, I think I will cool these under the camera so you can see them better. Just have to make sure not to burn myself. Okay. There we go. The last 4 that are kind of giant. But, and yeah, you can't really, the lighting is not lending itself to showing you how the edges actually are a little bit more brown. And the center, you can, well, maybe, can you see that it's puffier? You might not be able to see that because it's not 3-dimensional. I guess you can in the regular shot. You can see that they're kind of puffed up. The edge is flatter and the center is puffed. Miko said, oh yeah, those boys shop at the Big and Tall store. Okay. So I'm going to set this up and then we will just make sure everyone enters that wants to enter. Give me a second to, ooh, Maybe this isn't a great idea. I will switch this out with one of the cooler pans. That's what I'll do. I'm not ending the stream right now or anything, but I just want to say thanks for coming to hang out with me while I bake cookies. This is fun. Okay. This one won't burn me. I'm pretty sure yeah. It's safe. Okay, so have to wake up my mouse. And then come over here to Stream Elements, Giveaways. We're going to duplicate this past giveaway. Actually, I have to do it over here because I can't really see. Cookie giveaway. Okay, so it's set to. You have to robot voice again. Oh man. I mean, as long as you understand me, I guess that's not that I want it to do robot voice, but at least you can still understand me, right? So it's the same thing as last time, where once I start it, which I have not yet, so don't. There's no rush, okay? You're gonna have to type in the chat. You're gonna have to type !enter, and then it should pop up in the chat and say like, Dillinger Nick, you have entered. You're entered for the cookie giveaway. Subscribers have 2 times the amount of luck. That's funny that's what they that's what they say. Yeah, so you'll get a confirmation when your ticket goes through. You can do !enter or !ticket. Everyone can get 1 ticket. It's gonna cost you 50 points. I don't know if you remember this, if you were there last time. It's not your channel points, it's not your through Twitch, but you should, everyone who's been here and been hanging out, you've accumulated enough points at this time to be able to enter. But if there's any issue, we'll fix that. I'm pretty sure I was able to fix it last time. Okay, so let's see what happens here. If I say create and start, is it gonna, oh yeah. A giveaway has started. Cookie giveaway. Cost 50 bubbles, okay. Dillinger Nick, you successfully bought 1 ticket with your 50 bubbles that are invisible. Okay, Dr. Brontax, no control. Okay, so it's working at least. And don't forget, if you are outside of the US, I mean, you can enter, feel free to enter, but you'll have to, I'd appreciate you telling me if you don't live in the US, if you just wanted to try your luck to see if you would win, because I can draw a second draw, and I can draw as many draws as we need to draw. So yeah, if you are outside the US, you can enter, but I'm not going to send you these cookies. I am sorry. It just, you physically live too far away. And I was thinking that at some point I could do a stream that's maybe not baking cookies. Maybe it's, Miko said, people outside the US are going to have to hang that cookie on their wall. Yeah. I'd rather it go to someone who can eat it, And because it's got edible ingredients. It's got butter, sugar, chocolate chips. These are all things that should be consumed instead of thrown in the trash. Um, but I was going to say that I think at some point, if we keep doing this, then for sure I'll do something like something that could be stuck in transit for a month and still be good. Which the first thing, I guess I could do like candy or granola. I really like to make granola. I have a really good granola recipe. That sounds boring, but it's not. It's really good. So who else needs a ticket? Who has not gotten a ticket? Gonna have to do a stream making hardtack. Mmm. That would be so delicious. Wimpdork said, I have a friend doing cookie gifts this year. I can check and see what she chose to do. I mean, shipping cookies within the US, I feel like is doable. If she's shipping outside of the US, then yeah, I would like to know. I would like to know because there's the risk of it just really sitting there for a long time. So yeah. I mean, there are things that I can. I mean, maybe even like a shortbread or like a crunchy cookie that wouldn't, like these cookies would dry out and just get too crunchy and stale. And I wonder maybe if I did a really hot, like a shortbread, although a good shortbread would kind of crumble into nothing if you vacuum sealed it. Leo said, what if someone lives somewhere in a remote area of Alaska? That's a good, I don't know. That would be something to consider. I think, yeah, I mean, that could take, it wouldn't have to go through customs. So there's that. So actually, it probably would be okay. Miko said, I refuse to enter. I have to diet before Christmas? What? Isn't it already Christmas? You could, I mean, I'm not going to force you to enter. Right now, there's only a 7-way split. You have a 1 in whoever has got a ticket so far has a 1 in 7 chance of getting some of these cookies. No Control said, Miko, diets are for after the holidays. That's the common consensus that if you're gonna eat cookies, the time is now. But I also think it's good to be healthy. So I respect it. I fully respect not wanting to eat too many cookies. Because you do need to reserve. You need to reserve some of your threshold for actual Christmas food at your house. Miko said I pigged out too hard at Thanksgiving. I ate like it was Thanksgiving for a full week. Yeah, I did that too. There were lots of leftovers, so we just kept eating Thanksgiving. And eventually I was like, this is too much Thanksgiving, so we put it in the freezer. So we have it for later. For whenever we're not feeling over Thanksgiving. Okay. So the giveaway has been going for 5.5 minutes. Is there anyone else who would like to enter? No pressure at all. I know that some people are also not a fan of eating home baked goods. I know someone personally who's like does not eat any home baked goods from a home. So I get that too, you know. Okay, chronicler. Oh, Julian, sorry, Freezyba. You just put exclamation point enter or exclamation point ticket. Dr. Brontax, I don't know if you were doing that intentionally, but it needs to be right, up. It needs to be an end of the sentence exclamation point and not a beginning of the sentence. Freezy Bye, you have to do there, like just like Dillinger Nick. I mean, that says that he failed to enter because he already has a ticket. Chronicler, you're folding laundry. Well, I'm glad. I mean, I'm not going to close the giveaway until everyone who wants to has entered. Okay, there you go. You successfully bought one ticket with your invisible imaginary points. This microphone pinch, it like went away, but now it's back. It's like my head got used to it, and then now my head is like, I'm over it now. Dillinger Nick was helping. I'm sure he already knew that it wouldn't work. You can only have one ticket. Looks like we have 9 entrants now. You have a 1 in 9 chance of winning some cookies. Miko said, oh, it's up to you. It's up to you, Freezy Boss / Julian. I mean, Julian is easier. Miko said people make their own sourdough starters and sell them on eBay. Yeah, I mean, people make home-baked, forget what it's called, cottage cooking or something all the time. And it's, some people are fine with it, some people are not. I'm just saying I'm not going to judge. I don't know how many people are here anyway, but I'm not going to judge anyone for not entering to win these cookies. Because maybe, I mean, I'm not going to assume I know why someone would or would not want these cookies. Dillinger Nick said, I can have all you can eat emote cookies. That's true. That's true. You could have so many of those. You could have an insane amount of those. Just say Julian. Okay. Miko said, have you ever tried to make sourdough? Yes. My uncle actually gave us some sourdough starter because he makes sourdough all the time. And I am not much of a bread baker. Like that kind of traditional, like bread. Like I'm more of a banana bread, pumpkin bread, zucchini bread type bread maker. But Doug is he's the bread baker in the household. And so yeah. And I mean, I have actually, I'm trying to think if I ever made, my mom used to make our bread. Like when I was really little, she used to make our sandwich bread and stuff. Like she would make wheat bread for our sandwiches. And I like thinking back on it, I don't think I ever made my own like loaf like that. I mean, that seems weird though. That seems unlikely. I've definitely worked with yeast for different baking projects. I don't know. I might just be thinking of like cinnamon rolls. There's a lot of baking that involves yeast. That's not necessarily bread. Yeah, I love sourdough. I love bread in general. Fresh baked bread is so good. It's of course the best kind of bread. Wimpdork said, I wasn't going to, but those cookies look amazing. I hope you got a ticket then. Okay, yeah, I see. I can see part of the list here, and it looks like you have entered successfully. Yeah, I love sourdough. So I think sourdough might be my favorite kind of bread. Okay, well, I'm gonna say it's last call for the drawing on these cookies. And then I'm going to wash my hands again and test the actual temperature. Like, of these cookies to see if they might be ready for a vacuum seal. I kind of think they won't be because the chocolate is probably still kind of melty. But you know what? I could eat one and let you know how it is. It does make good toast, Miko. I agree. Okay, is there anyone else? I see that we have a ticket purchased by the Ghoul. Chronicler, you were vegan until a year ago. Oh, wow. Did that restrict your bread eating abilities? I feel like, yeah, I guess a lot of bread has milk in it, right? Like to activate the yeast. I also have wondered before about the, I mean, not really, because yeast is really just like a microscopic creature. But I wonder if there are vegans who don't eat yeast because of its aliveness. You tried, Miko? Tried to go vegan? Yeah, Sam, I mean, I doubt that like every bread has milk in it, but I know that oftentimes that's how you activate the yeast, in warm milk. Chronicler said, yeah, if you're strict about it, you have to read the ingredients on pretty much everything. I don't have a lot of good vegan recipes, but I do have some. I have a pretty good vegan oatmeal chocolate chip cookie recipe, which I should probably try on stream, right? For anyone who's vegan out there. Leo said, I'm vegetarian since I was a little kid just because I tried meat and fish and just didn't like the taste. Oh, interesting. I wonder if you would feel differently if you tried it now, or do you ever do you just you're like over it? Um, Julian said there's a lot of bread with milk. I dated a vegan for 9 years. My brain's still programmed to look out for vegan stuff. Miko said, turns out I loved meat more than AFI. Yeah. Mashed bananas and applesauce. Yeah, substitute. There's so many. I I remember my one of my cousins was vegan for a time, and I wanted to make him some. This was like years ago, before vegan stuff was like readily available everywhere, vegan baked goods. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make him some vegan cookies and some vegan brownies because can't get them anywhere. I don't even remember where I found the recipes for those, but they both turned out terrible. Like I was just like, this is not good at all. And that's kind of how I remember. I mean, I have made some good vegan stuff since then, but the substitutions, I'm like, applesauce and brownies, it doesn't do it for me. Chemicult, thanks for the follow and welcome to my first ever baking stream. Nutritional yeast at all the things. I do love nutritional yeast, actually. It's really good. I had a really delicious vegan, like Alfredo pasta. Yeah, there are some amazing vegan restaurants. Um, and I had some. It was cashew cream with nutritional yeast on pasta. It was like a cashew cream nutritional yeast sauce. It was so good. They're all in LA. The good vegan restaurants. Hi, Keith. Thank you for the follow. We're just finishing up the stream here. Freezy Boss said the only vegan thing I cannot do is cheese. They have not perfected it yet. Yeah. I feel like oftentimes if it's a vegan place and they offer it with vegan cheese, I'm just like, no thanks. I'll just have it without cheese, whatever it is. Although I feel like vegan cream cheese is like there's the tofuti vegan cream cheese. It's not bad. And I also had one. Hi, Ilya. I don't know if that's how to pronounce it, but Ilya, welcome. Thank you for the follow. We're literally about to end the stream, but as you can see, I mean, hopefully you've been here hanging out the whole time and you have just now been convinced that this is a stream worth following. That's what I'm gonna assume. I have had Earth Burger, Freezy Ball. It's good. Earth Burger is good. I really like it. Dillinger Nick said nut cheese smells like feet. And then Wimpdork said I've had some pretty good ones, but they're hard to find. Yeah, that's how I feel too. I have had some decent ones. And I also recommend Earth Burger. Oh, that's a good question. We're it's like you need to be if you are here and you've been hanging out, I'm giving these cookies away. Some of them, at least, I'm going to send. But yeah, we're gonna do the drawing now, I think. Kite Hill. I feel like I tried a Kite Hill vegan yogurt and I did not like it at all. I was very sad. I was very sad about it. Vegan milkshakes are good. There's also Amy's in California, in northern California. There's Amy's. They have non-vegan stuff too, but they have vegan milkshakes and they're super good. Okay. So if anyone in Roanoke Park, yeah. And there's one also in Corte Madera that I went to the last time I was in California. And got although we got a strawberry. It was a little weird because we got a strawberry milkshake and a coffee milkshake, both vegan milkshakes from there. And they both tasted kind of the same. They were really good, and you could tell that the strawberry milkshake had real strawberries in it, like it had strawberry seeds and stuff. But it just wasn't that different. Like the flavors were very, very subtle, although still really good. Oh, you always stop there? Yeah, it's a good spot. So let's see. I'm gonna ask Doug something real quick. Okay. Can you hear me? Hi, the pit boss. Hi. Always hop in birthday, 24-hour and first streams. Thank you. That is so nice of you. It's great. Look, we made these chocolate chip cookies. I normally stream music stuff and I'm normally singing and playing piano, but I love baking and cookies and I've kind of been requested to do a baking stream and also been threatening to do a baking stream for a while. So here we are. We're about to do a drawing. I move this stuff out of the way. Last call. Last call for a ticket. Miko, it was a good conversation stream. Thank you. Yeah, the pit boss, thanks for stopping by. Crazy Boss said, that's right, we are held here against our wills. Yes. Exclamation ticket, US only. I'm going to give you how many seconds? 30 seconds. I don't know how long the delay is or the lag. Thank you, Pit Boss. I have not tried Tabasco Sriracha. This, actually, Sriracha is a little too spicy for me. But I chose this one, for its color to wear today. And, yeah, I do Sriracha sometimes, like on certain foods, but not much. I can only do a little bit. Okay. Chronicler, I'm glad you have enjoyed it. Sriracha is good. I am not very good at tolerating a lot of heat. So, yeah. Oh, people are giving points. People are giving give away. I know, robot activated. I'm sorry. Just passing through. That's cool, Bit Boss. I like that you stop by people's firsts and birthday streams and stuff. That's really cool. Okay. Are you ready? Are you ready for me to draw a ticket? Doug says yes. Is Pit Boss a barbecue channel? That's a good question. I would also like to know. Miko. Okay, I need to get my mouse over here. It says no winners yet. How do I have to say close giveaway, I guess. That seems risky. Looks like saying close giveaway is my only option here. And drum roll. And the giveaway is closed. Time to draw winners. All right, here we go. I was a bouncer in the late 80s named Stuck. That's awesome. The Pit Boss. You can no longer enter the giveaway. And now we are drawing a winner. I wish I had a little drum roll sound effect, but I'm just going to go 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Drawing a winner. Freezy Baw. Freezy Baw won the giveaway with a 10% chance to win. Congrats. Which is, I mean, that's extra convenient because I could probably drop them off to you somewhere. I happen to know that Freezy Baw lives in the vicinity. Congratulations. Thanks everybody for hanging out and for being here and for baking cookies with me. And also for your patience on how long it took me to actually do a baking stream. Thanks, Pit Boss. Thanks for the follow. I feel like with that name, you should probably start a barbecue channel. That would be pretty cool. Or, you know, just give us all some stories about what it was like to be a pit boss bouncer in the late 80s, because that sounds really fascinating. Yay to no shipping costs. Yes, that's true. That's true. Paco donated to that shipping for no reason at all. Seahog said, surely you've got to eat one and tell us how they turned out. Yes, for science. Yes, you are correct. I need to turn the light off on the oven. And then I need to eat one of these. We need to break one open, right? Need to wash hands. This has been really fun. My head is definitely starting to feel it again. This Madonna mic. I'm going to get a tiny plate. I think I'm going to take, let's see, which one looks the most misshapen? I think I'll take one of these was touching the edge. Here's my cookie. I'm going to break it open for you. It's not going to be stringy because it's all nice and cool. Oh, I guess it is stringy a little bit. It's a little bit melty. Stringy doesn't sound good. It's a little bit chocolate melty. All right, Pit Boss. Thanks for stopping by and for the follow. Miko said, I bet he fought Axl Rose. That's very possible in the late 80s. Wimpdork, thank you for being here. It's really great to see you. These are some buttery cookies. I don't know if you probably can't see that, the shininess that it's leaving on my hand. I'm glad that you enjoyed it though, because maybe I will do it again. I'm gonna move this a little bit and take a bite. Yeah, it's a good cookie. That is a good cookie. The middle is soft, but not raw. That's a great idea, Chronicler. Chronicler said, are you going to post the recipe on Discord? I totally should. I will post it under what is it called? Twitch chat continued? Or Twitch discussion continued? And then maybe Freezyba can follow up and let everyone know whether the cookies are good or not. You're so welcome, Paco. You like the robot voice? And Doug for eating the orphan cookie. The orphan cookie did not go to waste. All right. Oh, that's a good idea, Cosmic Brujo. Continue the tradition of posting recipes in the album inserts. I did not do that for Request Hotline Volume 1.5, which is coming up soon. Miko, did you know? I mean, you talk about being an AFI fan. I just want to make sure you know that I covered 2 AFI songs, that I made them into like a dance party, and it's coming out on a vinyl 7-inch. I feel like you were around when I was talking about it, but I don't know if I mentioned that it was AFI. Thank you, Dillinger Nick, for pulling that up. There's the info if you pre-order. Freezy Boss said, if I do not die, then it is good news. If you don't see me again, well, let's just say the cookies were bad. Great way to incriminate me and be responsible for your life from now on. There is not a date yet, Miko, for the Spotify release. because it's actually going to be part of a bigger, it's going to be, so the 7-inch is only 4 songs, but I need to, the idea is that I'm going to prepare even more songs for a digital release. So Request Hotline Volume 1.5 is like it's like a single almost. It's like a 7-inch single for the digital full vinyl. So the Spotify release won't be, it's not ready yet. The vinyl is in the process right now. The full album won't be for a little while after the 7-inch is out. Yes, the 0.5. You got it. All right, well, I think I'm gonna end the stream and clean, because I don't really want to clean up on stream. I feel like that's the part that nobody wants to see. So yeah, we should do it again, right? I feel like we should do it again and have more opportunity for people to receive more cookies, and we'll make different kinds. But I'm really excited that we did make our I don't want to say mascot again, but it's like, it's our sigil or something. The chocolate chip cookie. It just needs one big bite out of it. That's what I should have done. Then it would have looked exactly like an emote. But yeah, thanks everybody. I think I'm going to be a little lazy right now. Not raid. So, I hope you can find somebody to go watch and hang out with if you want to hang out some more on Twitch. Gotta wake up my mouse here. Okay. Sam said, take a shot glass and cut the bite-sized sanitary and give you time. You mean the ones that I give to Julian? That would be funny. Just like, here you go. Here's your cookie emotes. Yay! Look at all those cookies in the chat. Thank you so much, everyone, for hanging out and for entering the giveaway. It's been really fun. And I will post the recipe. I need to type it out because taking a photo wouldn't be that great. So I will type it out in Discord for anyone who wants to do it, who wants to attempt it later. I recommend. Good. All right. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a great rest of your Sunday. And I will see you. I'm not totally sure. Like I said, it's possible it'll be next Friday. Will be the next stream. Definitely not this Friday, this coming Friday, but potentially Thursday. If I feel rested, then that's a possibility. But let's say next Friday for sure. Dr. Brontax, Leo, Paco, Batman Tink, Chronicler, Miko, Sam, Dillinger Nick, No Control, Cosmic Ho, Sincerely Me, I think was here earlier, right? Yeah, Bumcats. Thanks so much. You're all the best. Let's, oh, Renafi. I don't know if Archibald is still here or the real Rena. Micah the Mike Ghost. Yes. All right, everybody. See you all soon. You guys are the best. Thanks so much for everything. Let's stop streaming.